everybody. Welcome to the segment of Coffee with Kathy, and I'm very happy to have with us today our special guest, Tyler McNamer. And Tyler, hi, nice to see you. I'm going to just talk a little bit on his bio here. So Tyler is an international best-selling author, speaker, and CEO of his company, Autism Works. Tyler was diagnosed at the age of 2 years old. He was completely nonverbal until 6. At 12, he began speaking in full sentences. Tyler overcame adversity and triumphed against all odds and captured his story in his best-selling book, Population 1, Autism, Adversity, and the Will to Succeed. He wrote it when he was only 17. I love the cover too, Tyler. It's a very nice cover. Tyler didn't stop there. He just recently released his second book, Becoming One, Autism, Adolescence, and Transition to Adulthood, a sequel that picks up where they left off on Population 1, Inside the Mind of Autism. His work inspires thousands and sparks a new narrative of autism, from transforming disability into a unique ability. As Tyler so brilliantly puts in his second book, and I love this phrase, Tyler, I'm not an autistic writer. I am a writer with autism. So Tyler, welcome. The floor is yours to start your presentation. I'm very happy that you're joining us today.
All right. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Thank you very much. Hey, everyone. My name is Tyler McNamer. As you may all know, I come from the state of Washington, and very happy to be here in the state of Maine. It really is fantastic, virtually at least, but I can't wait to go there in person. So I'm here. I'm here to tell you a very important topic that I was requested to talk about, and that is the topic of success. And I would like to also add another topic to this tale that we're going to talk about, and that is also acceptance. So, what is acceptance? So I had to look it up in a dictionary and had to look up what that actually means. So took some notes, and it reads: the action or process of being received as adequate or suitable, typically to be admitted into a group. Here's another one: the action of consenting to receive or undertake something offered. And so here's an example of acceptance. I accepted the opportunity to be with you this fine morning, or actually in this case, fine noon, 3-hour difference, to be here with you. So thank you all very much for having me. So now that we've talked about success, or excuse me, talk about acceptance, let's talk a little bit about success. What is success? I define success as having the ability to accept challenges and fulfilling them. So the one thing I would say about success, and I do believe that's very important to keep in mind, be sure to write down in your notebook, is that I do not believe that there are different levels of success. They can all be equally rewarding. As an example, publishing a book can be just as rewarding and just as satisfying as being able to talk for the first time at age 10, or being able to get your driver's license at age 26. And so that's why I honestly believe when it comes to success, there are no levels. You don't have to feel like you have to be at you don't have to be at a certain area to feel successful, because I believe any kind of achievement has their own equality levels of success in that sort of way. Anything can be a big deal and worth celebrating over. So with that, I would like to say that success is all about making the choice. You can choose to accept success or decline success. Do you choose to accept yourself for success, or do you choose to decline on yourself and watch yourself decline? Think it over, will you? Yeah, I'll give you a moment to think this over. For those that choose option B, I would say that it is quite surprising that there are people who chose that option, and the results have followed since. So, how do you build yourself with this special kind of self-confidence to gain that acceptance for success? So, how do you maintain self-confidence? So, how do you build it? How do you maintain it? And how do you keep going no matter what obstacles come in your way? So it's time to choose. It will impact your life. Do you choose to accept? Do you accept, or do you decline? There is, you see, when it comes to the world of autism, I believe that there is a time for awareness, and then there is an equal amount of time for acceptance too. I believe that the majority of people are already aware of autism, and now it's time to take the opportunity to accept autism. And so not just accepting other people with autism, but also for people who have autism to accept themselves. Now, it is important to know that we are not trying to get rid of autism, but instead we have sacred opportunity to negotiate with it, to accept it, and to work around it to make it acceptable for yourself and for others. So one there's this one story that I always like to go back to almost every keynote engagement, and I do believe that he would make a fantastic public speaker. It is the boy with the helmet. You see, I met him a while ago, back when I was graduating high school. I went to this location known as the ALP, which stood for Adult Living Program. And basically, what this place is that we learn how to live independently, how to get a job, how to maintain a job, and how to pay the bills and how to do banking. All these helpful strategies for living independently as a young adult. Now, going back to the boy with the helmets, this young man was incredibly unique. He couldn't talk. He moved very slowly. He tends to have seizures every so often, and that's why he usually has his helmet on, so it protects him. But the one thing that I feel like is extraordinary about this kid was that he was able to get a job and maintain a job selling tickets at the baseball stadium. Now we can go on, and I'll fill up the extra time with my love and passion for baseball, but that was like one of the biggest breakthroughs for me personally is watching this kid choosing to accept these challenges and be able to get a job and then maintain that job selling tickets at the baseball stadium. Yeah, so I met him at the ALP Adult Living Program, where that's basically what we specialize is working on resumes, getting a job, obtaining a driver's license, and to live independently. And the one thing that we almost always do at the ALP was one important thing, and that is the opportunity the opportunity to celebrate all of our achievements. We believe that that is one of the most important things when it comes to getting a job and getting all these different achievements. So once we achieve something, we have to take the moment to celebrate. And celebration in itself also comes in many levels too. Imagine this, will you? If someone starts walking for the first time, someone would start a parade because that child took his or her first steps. That's an example of celebration. Another celebration would having the simple notion of fist pump in the air like that. That counts as a celebration too. So same with levels of success. there's also the same amount of levels for celebration. Everyone celebrates in their own unique ways, but I do believe that when it comes to achieving of success, the priority is straightforward. Be sure to take the moment to celebrate these achievements, because in the ALP, we chose to accept the opportunities at hand, and we accepted the help that was given to us. That's also the most important thing too, is that we accepted help that was given to us, because in the world of autism, I do believe that is not a solo journey. You can definitely try as hard as you want, but somewhere down the line, you're going to need some extra help. So this is the part where I will talk about offering help and accepting help. So I was at this keynote engagement not too long ago, and this was from Comcast and Xfinity. They wanted me to talk about the workforce and hiring people with autism to join their organizations and join their career paths. So what I would like to say here in the state of Maine is that the workforce is a team effort. It really is. I know you probably heard this so many times, but it is true. The workforce is a team effort, and I've seen plenty of those PSA announcements. Yeah, PSAs where they say if you see something, don't hesitate to ask for help, that kind of thing too. So it's true. It's a team effort. This was so here's how it works. Workmates they offer the help, and workers accept the help. See how it works? Workers offer, workmates offer, workers accept. The one thing I've heavily encouraged to young adults with autism is, before you start thinking about working, practice accepting help first. Practice accepting help of any kind, whether it be from your parents or your teachers or even your friends. Just practice that. And so don't think about working just yet. You got to practice on accepting help first. It can be any kind of help that you can think of. Now it kind of takes me back to when I was a toddler. I would ask about just about everything, even questions that I already knew the answer to. I still ask those questions just for the sake of good conversation. So like even when I asked what color a fire truck is, or what animal Felix the cat is, or anything like that too. It's like I knew the answers, but I still asked those questions just for the sake of good conversation. So same with the workforce too. You can also practice on accepting the help, even if you think that the task at hand may be so easy that you can do it yourself. But yeah, this is a good opportunity to practice. Practice. Have other people do the work for you, if you kind of think of it like that. But it's true. You got to practice accepting help before you think about working, because it really is that much important. That is very important when it comes to the workforce. And now here in Washington State is that Microsoft has been hiring hundreds of workers with autism, and have been succeeding in their products, and have been providing benefits not only for the company's benefits, but also for the employees and for the employers with these benefits. So it's true. Microsoft is full of workers with autism that be able to succeed in their own projects. And that's where it comes down to that success is a team effort. I will say too, a little bit of a side note about workers and stuff, is that when it comes to the workers with autism, they do need some extra help on some social areas too. I always kind of say that when it comes to the brain of someone with autism, it's just about everything else is in high octane kind of thing, and maximum overdrive, and all over the place. The one part of the brain that's that is still very slowly in development is the social skills, the social aspects, and all that kind of stuff. And that's why they kind of need some extra help, because job interviews, they are they are nerve-wracking as they are, but it's okay for them to have just a little bit of extra help from what was it? It was human resources. That's what it's called, and that's how they're able to do it, because somewhere in their minds there's talent that's full of potential, and simply with autism, I like to think of it as high potential, difficult to show. That's why we need some extra help, and that's the whole importance of teamwork. So success is a team effort. I really do believe that we can find our own excuse me. So success is a team effort. We can all find our own independence in finding our own success, but everyone takes the moment to reach out for help in order to get to that point. That's why in award shows you see a bunch of talented people giving.
She was going to. She might not have just had time to do it before that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Doing good.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Yep.
So I was gonna say that you see in award shows that with talented people, they give very long speeches of thanking just about everyone for the position that they've reached to that point, and proof of how far they have gone in their careers by those long speeches thanking just about everyone that got to that point. So speaking of trophies and diplomas, I'd like to get to the part that I believe is quite fantastic, very motivational too, and that is this the one event that I went to over in Arizona. So this is a very special school known as Gateway Academy. Now I'll tell you a little bit of what makes the school extra special is that this school specializes in students that have autism. So every single student in that campus has autism. Now I watched these students with I watched in my own eyes watching these students graduate, all of them, and I was just hired to give a graduation speech and encouraging them for their futures. It's the teachers and the students that equally worked tirelessly so that the students can succeed in finding their futures, and the teachers for giving the students the opportunity to succeed in their futures. So it feels like yesterday when I only took one day to look at the entire campus, and it feels like I was graduating with the other students like that. It was really amazing. That was a prime example of success when I saw them all graduate and most importantly celebrate their success, to celebrate their graduation ceremony. Like so. It was really quite amazing, and that's one example of success in a very large open group area, especially when it comes to a school that targets specifically for children with autism. And now keep in mind too that there are many people with autism that are experts listeners. They know what's going on, even though they might not show that they are listening. They really are showing that they listen. And I believe that that success is coming from people that listen. Let me say that again. I believe that people that succeed are the people the most are the ones that listen. So so they might not show that they are, but they are listening and most importantly absorbing all the information that they get. And they might not even have good eye contact too. They just kind of look to the side, but you got the ears sticking out too. So they get all the information being absorbed and straight to their knowledge. the most important thing that I recommend when it comes to showing that you listen is that it's okay to encourage people with autism who cannot talk at the moment to give a little bit of a sign so that we know that they are listening and paying attention. It can be anything. It can be any kind of sign, whether it be a simple nod or a hand to raise up or even like stomping on your feet or something like that. Any kind of sign. And once you find that sign, what do? We celebrate it. That's right. We celebrate knowing that he or she is listening to you. And that to me is for one fantastic breakthrough. So we got to celebrate that. We got to celebrate this achievement. And when I say celebrate, I don't mean like throw large parties or parades and or even like going to the arcade or anything like that, because everyone with autism is very different. It's we can celebrate in our own unique kind of ways because it is one of those things with autism that many of them are very sensitive to sound, but not just a sound, of course, too. No. It's also all of the senses: sound, sight, smell, taste, and feel. All the senses can be quite overloaded. But so when I say here, take the time to celebrate, I do not mean that does not mean to be loud. I do believe that there are such things as celebrating quietly or celebrating softly. It can be anything, like going out to dinner or maybe even going to the library or the bookstore or anything like that too. Any way that feels joyful in that kind of way too. So when you find those signs, don't forget to celebrate. It's I do believe it's very, very important. Any kind of success, take a moment to celebrate, whether it be from fist bump, excuse me, whether it be a sign or a parade, any kind of size of celebration. That's okay. It's all up to you. So anyway, back to the topic. Excuse me, water is good for you. You better make sure you drink it. That's another thing I should say about that I'm here to talk to you about now is water. I'm kidding. So so make them that becomes a humongous success. Making big breakthroughs in communication and understanding and accepting. Also, that people with autism really want to be heard, but oftentimes do not have the ability to talk. So they would do just about anything. They would do whatever it takes to be heard, whether it be communicating through videos, music, dancing, even screaming at times. There are alternatives to communicating. There are alternatives to communicating through talking. There's you can even communicate with the eyes. That's like one of my favorite body parts is looking into the eyes. So they would do their best to try to show emotion through their eyes like that too. And I always find that very fascinating. It's, to figure out what could they be saying, what could they be wanting, and what could they be thinking for the future. There are so many things. There are so many things out there. It's like even going back to the boy with the helmet. It's like when I see him, there has to be a lot going on in his mind, and most likely being excited that he got that he's going to get a job selling tickets at the baseball stadium. I can see it. I can definitely see it through with his eyes and his very lovely grin on his face. It's really quite telling. There's a lot of people with autism that say so much and not saying it verbally. It's just gotta dig deep into to explore and to what's the term not detection but what's the alternative? Observe and absorb. That's what I'm trying to say of these important informations. So. So they would do anything that they could be heard, but sometimes they would forget to realize that they are being hurt, it's just the whole talking stuff. They feel like that. A lot of people feel like that's the only way to get the message out from their heads. But it's true. A lot of people with autism would do anything other other than talking. And one of my ways of trying to get heard happens to be writing a book. When I was in high school, I wanted to try and make friends at school, and I was so nervous of talking to others and trying to be social with others that I did not want to give the chance of talking with others, traditionally. So instead, I wrote a book instead. Writing, it was a lot easier than talking, in my personal opinion. So that's why I kind of wrote it in hopes of making new friends. So I ask of you, what are your alternatives to wanting to be heard? Are you do you feel like you're trying too hard? Do you or anything like that too? And so it's always very important to talk things over with people that you care and trust about these things to the best of your abilities. And if it's not verbal talking, you can show it through art. And that's why I've always been a humongous advocate when it comes to art and the artist itself themselves, is because those are great examples of alternatives to speaking and communicating with other people. And every day can be a new discovery. Every day can be a new discovery when it comes to socialization. There will be challenges and trials every day for people who have autism and for people who care for those who have autism. To this, I simply would say to never give up. Keep working with the person you care for that has autism. You will never know until how it will all turn out in the end. All you know is today, and look for the small successes and being able to take a moment to celebrate them. And for those who have autism, I say the exact same thing. Never give up. Don't let anyone's negative comments hold you back. You are amazing exactly the way you are. And always remember that you should never diss your ability. There will be times, however, in the topic of success, that there will be times that you may feel like that you cannot accept, and you feel like a failure. And for this, I will tell you, these five important things. So, are you ready? Here are the 5 things. You are going to fail. That's exactly why we are human. You are going to fail, and keep in mind too that when you fail forward. All right, I'll say that again. You are going to fail, but when you fail forward. Not if you're going to fail, but when you fail forward. All right. Can we do that? Can we accept that challenge? That is why teamwork is so important for success. If you cannot accept yourself at this moment, there will be someone else that does all the accepting for you. It's all part of falling down and having someone to pick you back up, or as I would say, get on my back and I will carry you. So do you accept defeat? Or do you accept the help that will lead toward the path of victory? It's time to choose, and there will be those times. So when you fail from that forward, and it will be hard, and it will be very difficult for those who have autism too, because a lot of people with autism. I know this from experience because I've seen it before. Is that they feel like that they would do whatever it takes to be perfect, for themselves and to be perfect for other people around them. So when they make mistakes, they feel like it's the end of the world. I know it's true. I've seen it. I've seen it even when they fail a test and all that kind of stuff too. And or excuse me, one question of the test too, when everything else was like, was perfect. So yeah, that's why I was saying that a lot of these kids and adults, they want them to be perfect, and I will say that that even people without autism make make several mistakes as well. So which is why I would like to encourage something a little bit different, something a little new. Maybe we could show the people with autism that people without autism also make mistakes. And I get to this point too because back when I was in school, we used to have these video series that show acceptable behavior and unacceptable behavior, and we kind of know the difference between the two and what which you should go for and which you should avoid. And that same goes with the charts too for that little area too, acceptable and unacceptable. However, I do believe that it's also very important to show that people without autism, they also tend to make mistakes, but also not just make mistakes, but how to recover from those mistakes, and that's very important too. And I had my fair share of keynote engagements where I tend to stutter or kind of forget a line from my notes, or even drop my outline and have to have to improvise what I was supposed to say and all that kind of stuff too. So I had my fair share, and if I didn't receive the help from the ALP or from the Individualized Education Program, or IEP for short, then if I didn't have those areas, then I would totally freak out and have a meltdown and start throwing microphones and lights all over the place too. So that won't be so good. So thanks to the IEP, Individualized Education Program, and the ALP, Adult Living Program. So thanks to them, then I'm staying here. And if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here on camera speaking with you. So every moment, I always take an opportunity to thank them quietly in my own spare time, and let them they're amazing. It's without them, then I wouldn't be here. So that's how important that's how important teamwork is when it comes to success. It's a team effort. It really well is. One little note about the IEP is basically what it is that it's a large team of teachers, parents, counselors, and I believe doctors as part of it too, that come together working on one person. And I had my IEP since the beginning of elementary, and then ended all the way through high school. It was a big league of talented people working with one person. That's what the IEP is all about, and we do believe that it's very important for each people, for anyone who has autism to have this program with them, and it will shape their future. And the one thing I will say is that the majority of the people with autism, based on experience anyway, is that there are a lot of kids out there, very good kids. They really want to do their best and want to make people proud. And when they make mistakes, they kind of just have a hard time and all that kind of stuff, and feel like they've not only failed themselves but also failed the people as well. And all I have to say is, don't be so hard on yourself. Never give up. You just gotta know when you fail forwards, and you gotta know how to recover. It's like those many times I've been snowboarding down the mountains. When I land a trick improperly, I fall, and it's all about just getting back up and and getting that back up to the top of the peak, and then doing it again, and this time I do it better, or do the trick better, that kind of thing too. So that's why it's all about the attitude. It's all about the mentality of falling down and getting back up, and accepting the help of others. And also, it's very okay to ask help when the opportunity hits. So that's why I say practice. Practice asking for help. Practice accepting the help, and also there comes to a point where you can also practice offering the help as well. You gotta get to that point. I would say that's probably like the third and final step. So there are 3 steps into the help area. That is to accept that is to hold on, let me see. Excuse me, I was looking for the words. That was to ask for help, accept help, and offer help. So ask, ask, accept, offer. Ask, accept, offer. Ask, accept, offer. And that's where it boils down to when it comes to team efforts in the world of help. And when you do that, you will be on your way to the path of success. This is no individualized journey. It's there comes to those areas where you're going to need all the help you can get. Even the most powerful people in the world also accept help of any kind, and ask for help as well. They ask, they accept, and they offer. So anyone can do this. It doesn't matter where you come from. They all do the same. They all do the same thing. Ask, accept, and offer. So let's make this a challenge. Practice those areas. Ask, accept, and offer. And when we do that, I do have high confidence that the path of success is just around the corner. I'm so looking forward to it. I think it'll be exciting. So that brings it down to our final conclusion. There will be times when you feel like you cannot accept and feel like a failure. You accept defeat, as they say. That's the one thing that when it comes to acceptance that we try to avoid is to accept defeat. Try to avoid these kind of things. However, of course, when it comes to sporting events and it's like the other team won, then it's okay to accept a defeat like that. I mean, that's called being good. That's called being a good sport. but teamwork is important for success. No, whether it be I was thinking of back in the baseball now, because I'm tempted to talk about baseball because that's one of my favorite subjects. But no, this is all about the teamwork of success. If you cannot accept yourself at the moment, there will be someone else that does all the accepting for you, and they do that for a while. But then there comes to a point where you got to where after you got helped up back onto your feet, get back to work in accepting yourself. So do you accept defeat, or do you accept the help that will lead toward the path of victory? Acceptance is 2 main things. Accepting yourself. Accept yourself and you will have self-confidence. And self-confidence is the result of being accepted by others that accept you for who you are. And your acceptance grows as you concentrate on what you can do with your unique abilities. So let's go back. We're not trying to get rid of autism. We're trying to negotiate and work around with autism, because there are fantastic, brilliant minds out there, full of potential. They just need some help unleashing that kind of potential. Will it be you to help them unleash that potential? It's all up to you. So with these unique abilities, I do believe that there are that there are successes just around the corner with the help of teamwork in terms of acceptance, success. So once you have mastered acceptance of yourself and others, you will find yourself increasing the success in accepting of yourself and accepting from others. So get out there, challenge yourself, fail forward, build that self-confidence in building that success and finding your acceptance, and be confident that people will accept you for who you are. This is Tyler McNamer, live from the state of Washington State. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tyler. That was very encouraging. And I gained a lot from just listening to you, as I always do when I have conversations with autistic adults. Your insight is, quite extraordinary, I think. I do have a couple questions in the chat box if you would like me to go ahead and ask the first one.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear from you.
When you were talking about the school that you actually went back to give a speech, and it was a school that just had individuals on the spectrum, somebody wants to know what that name was. It kind of went kind of quickly for them.
Oh, yeah. So this is a place in Arizona, and it's called Gateway Academy. So yeah, Gateway Academy, GATEWAY Academy, Gateway Academy in Arizona.
That's great. Thank you. And I do have somebody else who wants to know if you could just recap those 5 things you were talking about, probably just to give them their titles. And maybe the writer could be a little more specific in case it's, because you talked about so many wonderful things.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I guess the 5 main things was acceptance and success, which is the main topic. It was help. It was help, offer, and accept help, and let's see, and then it was a part of recovery. That is to the recovery when you feel like you couldn't accept and you feel like a failure. That's the recovery part when it comes to failing, and self-confidence. I believe those are the 5 main things. If I can think of the top of my head.
Great. All right, I have another one here. This one's a little bit long, so I'll read it. And it says, Tyler, I'm so impressed with your accomplishments and very much appreciate your insight. My son is almost 13. I'm looking for ways to help him advocate for himself instead of relying on others to advocate on his benefit. For example, when he has questions or needs help at school, how do I encourage him to ask for what he needs instead of waiting for somebody to approach him first?
Oh, that's a fantastic one. I swear, every keynote engagement, to these questions get better and better. And so I remember there was a poster back in high school where it says even Einstein asked questions, and it's true. Even when I during the speech I mentioned that even the most powerful people ask for help as well. They ask and they accept and they offer. So I would heavily encourage watching the video examples of people asking all kinds of help, and also that there are teachers out there that love it when students ask for help, because it makes because it's like the students are interested, they want to know more, and with autism we got. What I believe is that we got to show people with autism that the majority of teachers they want questions. They get so excited when students ask for questions like that. So that's what I would go for. However, there is one thing I think I remember, but then what was it? Oh yeah, I think it was the. I believe, excuse me, practice asking with them kind of thing too. Asking, practice asking to help with parapros, because that's what I did with my parapro. is I ask questions with her, and then so that leads to questions with teachers like that. And I ask all kinds of questions like the whole idea of asking what color of a fire truck is, and it's on the practice, at least one question per day, and it gets better and better. So that's why I encourage the whole idea of practice.
Sorry, I was muted. I have one more question here. So this one's from Amy. She says, hello, Tyler. You are a brave speaker. I am 17 and I'm in high school. How did you feel in school? And did you feel like you had friends?
I really like that question. Thank you very much for asking. I did go into a school. It was like a Maine school, that kind of thing too. Like this wasn't like anything special, like Gateway Academy in Arizona. This was just a regular mainland school that I went to too. We were known as the Bainbridge Island Spartans. That was our that was our mascot back in the day too. So I did have a few acquaintances kind of thing too, and the people that I would sit at lunch with and all that kind of stuff. I think the main friends I kind of had was back when I was in freshman year, when I felt like I had a special kind of connection with the senior students kind of thing too. Like I would just sit up like on the stairwell and all that kind of stuff. Because it's true, we have like a stairwell. It's like the seniors are up top here, the freshmen are down here during lunch, and I felt more comfortable sitting up there with the seniors because they were magnificent kind of thing too. They were like, that's what I kind of think of and all kind of thing too. So it was pretty nice, just being with that. And then after freshman year, I kind of things kind of felt a little bit towards on the more downer side, I guess you can say too. I really missed those senior students. I even went to the point, so much to the point that I wrote an article about saying goodbye to seniors. In fact, it's even in my book. That's in one of the chapters. Let me go look at it real quick. It is, where'd it go? Oh dear. There's 50 chapters. It's kind of hard to navigate and all kind of thing. Oh, that's right. The senior farewell, chapter 21, and that's how much the seniors meant to me back in the day. And I had to say goodbye. And then when I was a sophomore, it kind of just went a little downhill and all that kind of thing too. The downhill isn't like I didn't really have that much friends. It's mostly just acquaintances and all that kind of thing. It's like, sure, I do sit next to them, but we didn't really quite have like an actual decent conversation. Be like hey, you want to go to a restaurant or a cafe or maybe a nightclub or something like that. I mean, that's always been like something that I've always wanted, to get to go out and do all these action adventures with what most kids would normally do at high school, but I never really got the chance to do that, and that's why I kind of was so hard, and to the point I had to write a book in order to gain that acceptance and gain that opportunity to go out and go to those nightclubs and maybe a cafe, or even old enough to go to a bar or something like that too. Any way to be around people. I mean, I was just that determined to get that to whatever way possible. And that's and I guess I could say, for the whole sake of dark backstories and all that kind of stuff, it's where I kind of wrote that book out, depression, all that kind of stuff. But that would be way too easy to say it like that. So, but it was kind of true. The writing was just my way of kind of showing emotions and feelings and all these different things that go in my head, and boils down to the point of what is it like to have autism in the first person point of view. And that's why that's why I kind of wrote that book, was because of first person point of view. And I hope students close to 200 would understand, and I hope I could be in their group and be in their tribe, and go to a nightclub and dance. because even back then I was a good decent dancer and all kinds of stuff. I really loved dancing. I was just breaking out the moves and encouraging others to dance and all that kind of stuff. I can go on and on about high school, but I'll save that for the book.
So I do have another question. It says, "Hi, Tyler. My son is 3. I want to make sure he is proud of his autism and the unique way his brain works. Do you remember the time that you felt proud of having autism? And what made you feel this way? Thank you, Tyler. You are a great speaker."
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear from you. I believe the aha factor of where I accept not a disability but as a unique ability. That was towards after I got this published, because originally I thought that was the only reason why I published the book was because I wanted to make friends. But as time went on, it becomes something much more when I see copies going across the globe. And this was the moment where I understood that people want this kind of information, and to the point where I was even encouraged by my parents, saying that no one can think the way that you can. So show us. So show us what you can think, or excuse me, show us what goes on in that beautiful head of yours. That's what my parents taught me and told me, and saying and encouraging that you are perfect just the way that you are, and people want that. There was no one out there that's the same Tyler McNamer except you. So my encouragement to you for the person who is currently 3 years old is that you are perfect just the way that you are. Don't feel like you have to change for other people. People want to get to know you, and people want to know the unique abilities that you will be able to show and show to the world. So I always say this one thing is that you're extraordinary and people are waiting. So don't make them wait any longer.
Good advice, huh? Now, another question is, you talked a lot about, having autism. Why is this important for parents to know while they are raising a child with autism? Your message is very powerful, and I think sometimes parents need guidance and help too.
So what's the
So you talked a lot about what it's like having autism.
Mhm.
Why is it important for parents to know while they're raising their child with autism?
Right. I'm sorry, I had to repeat that. Thank you very
That's
much for asking. Thank you very much. So I believe it's very important to know about people, excuse me, children raising. What am I trying to say? Parents raising children with autism. It's very important to go, especially towards a very early age, because I remember my mom. She knew that said that I needed to just an extra boost and extra help and all kind of thing that too. And I always kind of joke around saying that I was a bad student. I had to repeat the preschool twice. Of course, that's a joke but what I did was it was basically just a developmental preschool. So it's developmental preschool and then actual preschool. And and preschool and kindergarten was actually quite a big breakthrough because for me personally, I know that there's a lot of people out there, but what I learned in the preschool and kindergarten is the idea of recreation and entertainment. In other words, fun. I didn't really know how to have fun properly, so that's why developmental preschool and kindergarten, they actually helped me with that too. So it's very important to know that as a parent with someone with autism, and I do believe that parents with autism, the one thing I highly recommend is don't feel like you have to change, just for the sake of your children. And that's why I always say almost every keynote engagement, it's there are no limits, only adjustments. So, there are no limits, only adjustments. People, children with autism, they're still children, and there are no limits. There are only just adjustments here and there too. Like some things are just more like extra rules here and there too. Like for example, I remember in kindergarten where I'm supposed to sit a specific green square every day, so I know where to go, because that was how important routine was for me too. And patience was something that needs to be worked on. So that's why there's some extra time and extra help for these areas. And even my mom and my dad said they still raise me like any other kids in that sort of area. And the whole idea of the notion and the physical and mental mentality of never giving up, because it's like I totally remember my dad when we were going off and tour together, he always says this, and I could direct quote this: hang in there. All right, just hang in there. Because it's exhausting as a parent. It's also as exhausting as children who have autism. So both parties they share the same. They both share the same pain, and for that I say to both of them is to never give up and to never diss your ability, because there are going to be trials, there are going to be some tough times, and when you fail forward.
Good advice. We're coming close to the end. I have just one more question for you. For those who are asking, this is recorded. We will put it on our website probably sometime this week, and we'll advertise on Facebook. But how did you decide on the title of your book, Population One?
I decided the title of the book of Population One for a multiple of reasons. It kind of comes out to, okay, so did I call it because of this or because of that? But the original reason why I did that was because I felt like I was all alone, and I'm trying to look for other people out there for acceptance. That was my original reason why I chose Population One, is because of one population and to try to find others. The other reason was to build a community into an entire population of one, because I was really big in space and all that kind of stuff. Space is always so amazing to me. So I just think of one galaxy full of trillions of planets in one galaxy, and I think one galaxy, that's one population. And so all these different things come together. It's a population of one. And that's one of the main reasons. The original reason was because I was trying to find a bunch of people, and it feels like I'm a population one because of this isolation. And then the new reason was because we can come together as a population of one. And that goes all the way down to the second book that completes the duology of becoming one, to become one population, to become one of yourself. So that's why I kept one, all in big letters like that.
Yeah, I love that explanation. I think it's awesome. And I do want to thank you so much, Tyler, for coming on and coming into the Maine world here, even though it's only by Zoom. It was lovely having you. And I think the audience gained a lot. And I do wish you really good luck with book number 2. We got book number 1. We'll be getting book number 2. Is that one already published and out?
It is published.
Okay, I'll have to get that one.
It's on its way to its first anniversary.
Oh, good. Yes, I'll have to be looking for that one. So thank you so very much for joining us today. And I thank everybody for the questions and everything. And you are a great speaker. I think it was fabulous, and a lot of people will gain from this presentation.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a privilege. It was a privilege to be here in the state of Maine. So I'm from Washington. Thank you very much.
Thank you.